did it.
We did it.
We survived. We made it all the way until the countdown of the clock, and we escaped 2020. We did it.
It's over.
A round of applause for everybody. We all survived. Very proud of everyone. I'm especially proud of Derf because he's back here for another year.
Yeah.
Of this complete madness and chaos. He signed up for another year. He signed the contract. We do contracts.
Yeah, I renewed the contract here.
He's back on the dotted line there. Boy, oh boy. It's on and off the field 2021 edition.
Yeah.
We got this new look. This is the first episode with the new look.
It is the new look, yeah.
I worked very hard on that. First guy in the house, TJ from the Just Be a Dad podcast, Whiskey Pro streaming as well. What's going on, brother? Man, how you feeling? 2021. How's it been going so far? We're 5 days in.
5 days in, still surviving. So, seems good to me.
Yeah, like we're alive. 5 days in. Nothing crazy's happened yet.
No.
We haven't been attacked by murder hornets. There's no shocking celebrity or sport athlete deaths. We're good so far.
We're good. Yeah.
5 days. It's all right. Only 360 to go, I think.
Yep.
Something like that. But who's counting? So welcome to the award-winning podcast. I got to get like an echo. Award, winning podcast. On and off the field with Derf and Dylan, the looks and the brains. I added that for fun. I don't know why. The thing I downloaded for this kind of just, I had to put something there. So that's what I came up with. Yeah, big year for sports as well.
Oh, yeah.
Both teams made the playoffs. Yeah, we got the Cowboys fan over here. Sorry, brother. Not like you would have gotten it anyways because the Eagles tanked against Washington. So, honestly, if I was the Cowboys or the Giants, I mean, I would have rather have lost that game at this point knowing what the Eagles would have done that night.
Right, yeah.
So, because at least the Giants is like, all right, all we got to do is have the Eagles win. They can do it. They're a better team.
What are they doing?
Nate Sudfeld. Look at us, two hosts of their teams going to the playoffs. Get out of here, Dan. You and your salty boy. Just go make sure Kyle Juszczyk doesn't leave the 49ers. Apparently that's a thing. What's going on, Josh? He's got Cheetos as his profile pictures, and the Aggies won the bowl game. Very big.
Nice.
The Cowboys suck, but at least the Aggies don't. We got one thing going for you. All right. Let's get this show underway. Derf's got some big news for you. I think there's a change here. So everyone listen up and begin your flossing routine. Follow, liking, observing, subscribing, and sharing everything on and off the field related. Make sure to floss, and Derf will tell you all about that with some extra news. Pay attention.
Yeah, pay attention.
Tune in.
Yeah. So, recommended out of 10 out of 10 podcasters recommend flossing, and you can follow, like, observe, and share on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube and Twitch channels, which we are currently live on, and go back for past episodes and other great content. Make sure to rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts so that we know how we're doing and what you like or dislike about the show, because it is about you, the listener. And viewer, I guess, yeah, because we're live. But here we go. OnAndOffTheField.com is no longer currently a part of the show. We have a rebranding project that is currently underway, so big things coming. Things are already changing. 2021, here we come. For now, make sure to follow on all of our social media platforms by searching for On and Off the Field or at OOTF podcast, so that you stay in touch with all of our charity efforts, all of our breaking news that we give to all of our fans, and other fun content.
This segment brought to you by Stefan Diggs.
Yes.
Write that one down. We gotta. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna do that now. I'm gonna create a picture like a meme with the picture of Stefan Diggs flossing, and then put the make sure you floss stuff on that picture. It's done. It's done. It's gonna happen. 100%. No, so get ready for that. More things changing
on the fly.
Just like that. Well, thanks to your wife, floss like pigs. Yeah, coming in with the clutch there.
Yeah,
what's up, Mr. Benninger, my good old buddy there?
Nice.
What happened to the Gardner sleeper fantasy pick? Was he a sleeper fantasy pick for us? Did we say that? Was that like a thing we did? Did we talk about it? We might have. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know. I remember the whole Bud Light thing where if you draft them in the first round, I remember all that madness. But when you say sleeper, he might have. Maybe I would have said he would have been a good second quarterback to pick up late in the draft. I could admit to myself saying that. I probably did. Wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I guess the Eagles tanked. Go Chiefs! At least Andy Reid is still going. He's the only thing Eagles related still going right now. God bless Andy. I saw something amazing with Andy Reid today. You see that thing floating around social media?
Can't say I did today. I was pretty busy.
Okay, busy day. So really cool. Andy Reid. So there's only one person, one head coach in history, or one other team that has gotten their team, or the team has gotten to the championship game in the playoffs 3 years in a row, or hosted it, rather, I should say, hosted the championship game 3 years in a row. And the first team was the Eagles back in 2002, 2003, 2004, when Andy Reid was the head coach. And now the Chiefs have a chance to do that this year for the third year in a row with their head coach, Andy Reid.
Very nice. Got a little bit of a trend going on there, repeating history there with Andy Reid.
Bada bing, bada boom. This goes back to, if Josh is still in here, Josh Bailey. When I was on the Stay Tuned podcast, one of the questions he asked was, who's the better coach, Andy Reid or Mike Tomlin? Andy Reid.
Yeah.
I think I said Mike Tomlin on the podcast. I changed my mind. They're so neck and neck that you can flip flop. I feel like it's just so. They're two of the best coaches to do it. I think they're up there, but I think I have to take Andy over Mike Tomlin. What do you think? Do you have an opinion on that? Like out of nowhere, ask you that.
I feel like Andy Reid is I would take Andy Reid over Mike Tomlin. I feel like Mike Tomlin, he's a very straightforward coach, but he's very routine and consistent. I feel like Andy Reid has, while he is still, everything that Andy Reid has brought over the years, he's also changed a little bit, with the times. There's no reason why Mike Tomlin should have Ben Roethlisberger still on the field when there's other quarterbacks to have. Andy Reid obviously knows that, and they got Patrick Mahomes. They get the best talent you can out of your players. Tommy Tomlin is doing it, but I still think Andy Reid does it better.
Yeah, that's true, because they had Alex Smith, who's a pocket passer, but they moved on to someone more mobile and younger, to Patrick Mahomes, and he knew that.
Yeah.
Smart guy. It's a good point. Andy Reid all the way. We got people agreeing. Andy Reid. Love Andy. From Lee Swinney, what's going on? What's popping? Thanks for tuning in. We got 12 people watching right now. I don't know. It's awesome. Just came out of nowhere. Are the Packers legit, or are they going to lose their first playoff game? Had a weak schedule, so could be upset. Depends on who they're playing. I think it's going to be either the Bears or the Bucks, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's either going to be the Bears or the Bucks, Washington or the Bucks. My apologies. I had to think about that for a second. It's either Washington or the Bucks, which I don't think the Bucks should have a problem. I mean, we'll talk about the picks later. We can get into depth, but at the end of the day, I'm taking the Bucks, and the Bucks already beat the Packers once this year in an embarrassing fashion. So I don't know. That's going to be a good game, though. If that's the game that happens, can Aaron Rodgers redeem himself against Tom Brady? Because the first time they met this year, it was bad.
Oh, yeah, it was.
So time will tell. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, because if the Bucs do win, I got to see how convincingly they win. That's going to be the tell there, because it's also a primetime game. This is in the night slot, and we have seen the Bucs struggle under the lights.
Yeah,
we'll talk all about that later into the show with our guest, Gene Battaglia.
Oh yeah!
I pray to God I say his name right when we bring him on. Gene Battaglia, right?
Yep.
I nailed it. Gene Battaglia. I've been saying it like all day. Like every once in a while, I just kind of go, whenever I got free time in my head, I just kind of say his name just so I don't mess that up. Got to run for a bit dinner with the lady. All right. Well, I hope you come back. It's going to be a great show. Go Sports, Ryan Francis. Let's do a podcast. Welcome. Hit the share button, hit the like button, hit everything. Hit all the buttons. There's a bunch of buttons that everyone can hit, and it'll help us out a lot. So hit the share, hit the like, hit the follow, hit the comment, hit the everything. Just do it all.
Button smash.
Just smack your hands against the keyboards and just do things. That's what we need. All right. You want to talk about some NFL news?
Yeah, I got a little bit chunk here of some NFL news.
It actually is a lot. Because for a lot of teams, the offseason started, so there's a bunch to talk about.
Yeah.
Just keep the comments coming. We'll answer comments. That's the whole thing about this show, I feel like. Mm-hmm. That's what we do best, I think, is just derail our entire show just to answer comments. That's what we do best.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
100%. All
right. So, first on the docket, Black Monday has come and passed.
Dun, dun, dun.
And honestly, nothing shocking happened.
Yeah, nothing yet.
I feel like it would have been worse if some of these coaches actually made it to Black Monday, but some of the ones that we knew were going to get fired, or at least some of the more surprised ones, they didn't even make it to Black Monday. Yeah. So, because before the season even ended, we lost Matt Patricia with the Lions, Bill O'Brien with the Texans, and Dan Quinn with the Falcons, and then fired at the end of the season. And we say end of the season because Adam Gase didn't even make it to Black Monday. He literally wasn't even allowed in the locker room. Not literally, but the game ends an hour later. Adam Gase was let go of the Jets. He probably wasn't even up to the podium. They just said, go home. I imagine that's what happened.
That would be hysterical to see.
I kind of feel like he knew he was getting fired after this game. So, like, the game ends and he just leaves. He just left the stadium.
He just walks out of the stadium and gets in his car and goes home.
Yeah, like, didn't even go to the locker room. No post-season talk. He just left. I wouldn't be shocked if that's what happened. But then, actually, on Black Monday, the only coaches that got fired were Doug Marrone and Anthony Lynn, which I think we all saw coming. Anthony Lynn maybe a little bit of a shocker to some people, but, I mean, we were calling that for all season. I mean, he's been struggling with this team. They had one good season at 12-4, and then everything else has been garbage.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we got Dos Primos in the house, beers in the chat. We got Rapid Dave in the house, Yo and Beer and Fire in the chat, and Ryan Francis shared this to every single group he possibly could. Hey, share jail is fine. If you go to share jail on our behalf, that's worthy of going to jail. I appreciate that. I appreciate you sacrificing yourself for the cause. So the question must be asked, with all these firings, these teams are opened up. What team is the most attractive job right now for a head coach? Where would you want to go if you're being catered to as a head coach candidate?
I'd pick the Chargers.
You're going with the Chargers. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's a promising young quarterback that you don't have to worry about drafting now for the next year or so. And now you can get skills players. You can build up the offensive line through the draft. That key point that, helps the team run on offense is already there. You have a, decently stout defense. Obviously not all of them can stay healthy. So, look for some replacements there. Maybe the offseason you get trade, get a veteran coming in, get some everyone on the same page, more or less. But the Chargers, for me, makes the most sense.
And I mean, I agree. We're both on the same page with the Chargers. They got a rookie. They got a rookie quarterback that just broke the passing touchdown record and he just looks electric. He looks great. Which they tried robbing. Anthony Lynn tried robbing us of him this season. Thank God, that's mean. But thank God Tyrod Taylor got his lung punctured. That's mean-spirited. But we had a great season of Chargers football with Justin Herbert. He still had some things to work out, but for a rookie to play the way he did, my goodness. And then they, like you said, they have injuries. Some of them are repeat injuries. You might have to look at those players and see if they might just need to be let go. They need to build depth, but there's room for all of that.
Oh, yeah.
This team's not strapped for cash. You have a rookie quarterback now. I'm not sure what Austin Eckler's. He just got paid, which is unfortunate. I don't think he should have been paid. But there's room. There's cap space. This is just a team full of, I guess the terminology people like to use is blue chip players. Just kind of cornerstone pieces to build off of. Yep. But the other team that people keep talking about is the Jaguars. Like the Jaguars are the most attractive job. Yeah, there it is right there. Yeah, Jaguars is interesting with all the picks, but the Chargers are ready for a playoff run. Yeah, as long as the coach knows what they're doing, they can come in and just get Justin Herbert to the next level and keep that defense honest for like 4 quarters. Then they're ready for a playoff run. For the Jaguars, I just don't agree with it because if you go in there as a head coach, you're gonna have Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields if Urban Meyer, whatever. I still don't think they're gonna get Justin Fields. I think they want Trevor. He's at least a little bit more of a sure thing, I believe. Regardless, you have the first overall pick. You have a bunch of great picks. You have $100 million in cap space because they pull the Dolphins. That's all the Jaguars did. They looked at the Dolphins and said, holy crap, it worked. So they did it. They got rid of everyone that cost more than $10 off their cap space, and they just rolled with it, and they sucked, and here they are. And here's my problem, though. If you build the team right, like if you use the draft picks wisely, you do free agency wisely, you do trades or whatever the case may be, you do everything in a good way, you build the team properly, then yes, it's a great head coaching position. You can coach a team that's built from the ground up. It'll be awesome. Or you can end up like the Eagles and waste your draft picks and like build from the ground up, or like the Jets, build from the ground up, but just like still be at the ground. So, just because you have money in draft picks doesn't mean you're going to create a Super Bowl contender. Let's be completely honest here, folks.
Yeah.
You have to have somebody that knows what to do with those draft picks and that money. So it's a tough call. I'm going with the Chargers because it's more of a sure thing right now.
Yeah. You know what team I don't want to go to? The Texans.
That's the worst by far.
I want nothing to do with that. Someone could say the Jets because, they're just falling apart, but they have draft picks.
Yeah.
There's change that can happen there. The Texans are the Texans from this year for still years to come.
If I am the next GM / head coach / whoever that's in charge of the Texans next season, or at least this offseason, I'm just getting rid of Deshaun Watson. You can't build this team around Deshaun Watson anymore with that contract. It's either keep Deshaun Watson and then just try and give him some mediocre pieces here and there and still fail, or you get rid of Deshaun Watson, you get rid of J.J. Watt, you basically pull the Jaguars, you pull the Dolphins. You just have to. That's what I would do. But just the Dolphins went 10-6 this year and have the 3rd overall pick. The Dolphins have done the most smart moves of any team in the past 2-3 years. And I'll take that take to my grave. No team has done the offseason better than the Dolphins for the past 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Look what they've done, the moves they made. And now because they're 10-6 and they've built a very good team, but they're not done. Yeah. They're not done. They have the 3rd overall pick, and they have the Texans 2nd round pick as well. They can build a team of rookies. So if they want to, get these great rookies in here, and then to take the place of these high-paid veterans that they took in free agency, kick them out the door and replace them with rookies, and now you have all that money again, and you can build somewhere else. They've done an amazing job in Miami. Building the team, I should say. I'm not so sure about Tua, but overall, they have done a very good job. That's my take. Why did I even start talking about the Dolphins? Because we were talking about the Texans.
Yeah.
And then there's the Falcons and the Lions. I don't know where you take either of those teams.
I think Falcons could be interesting because there's some talent there, but you're in going into the Falcons, you have to be in rebuild mode. You can't be, we have a great team right now. Like, we just got to make a couple tweaks and we're good to go. No, Falcons we're stripping it down. We have some key pieces, but we got to build.
Yeah, that's what we've been saying all season. Matt, I saw a post on Facebook without a picture. I think it was just a tweet, like Adam Schefter tweet. And, it was broken down into 2 lines because it was a short tweet. It was 2 lines. The first line read, "The Falcons have just announced that quarterback Matt." I was like, I didn't get to the second line yet. I just saw quarterback Matt. I'm like, oh my God. Schaub is retiring from the NFL. Oh my God. So close. They almost got out of that scot-free. Son of a gun.
Wow, Matt Schaub.
Yeah. He's done.
He was 04 draft class, I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure he's 40 years old, I think is what they said. He's an old dog.
He's an old fart.
Yeah. So he's hanging up the cleats. He thinks he's had enough of this. Did Larry Fitzgerald officially retire? Or is this just fake news going around? Because I never saw like an Adam Schefter tweet that said he retired.
I never saw anything, but you know how our buddy Matt is. He's like, R.I.P. Larry.
Right.
Wait, what?
I didn't see one credible piece of news that said Larry Fitzgerald retired.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying any. I didn't post anything about it because I don't want to be posting fake news. So
right.
So the Falcons are an interesting thing. I think Matt Ryan needs to go. You have Calvin Ridley and Russell Gage, a couple of good young wide receivers, a couple of young pieces on defense that are injury prone, but they're still young. Mm-hmm. I think you have building blocks there.
Yep.
So you're not in a terrible situation. And the Lions are just a terribly run organization. I think you do need to start over there as well. Mm-hmm. Fresh start. So whoever they bring in there is just be ready for a disaster, because that's just a poorly run organization. Not team, organization. Everything.
Yeah.
From front to back, that organization sucks. So whoever the head coach there is just needs to have some patience and a lot of good input, I think. Like who it might be, we might never know. But guess what? We have a list of – I just listed some of my favorite head coaching candidates that I've seen circulating. There's a whole bunch. There's some that I don't even know who they are. Like one of them was someone's interviewing like the head coach of the Iowa Hawkeyes. I don't know who.
Oh, okay. I don't know his name, but I know who. Like I know I can see his face, but I don't know his name.
Yeah, I mean, granted, we just talked a little bit earlier before the show that I don't follow college football. Mm-hmm. I completely forgot that Urban Meyer was no longer the head coach of the Ohio State Buckeyes. So, to be fair, he might be great. I just don't know him personally. But some of them we have listed was Urban Meyer. He says he would go to the Jags, but for no less than $12 million a season. So he's putting
his price tag out there.
Yeah. He says he'll do it if the money's there, I guess. I mean, let's not act like Jaguars don't have money to spend. So if he really wants to coach for the Jags, I think he'll be coaching for the Jags. And then we have, obviously, Eric Bieniemy, the Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator. Mm-hmm. A lot of rumors going around saying, he's not head coaching material because Andy Reid does a lot of the play calling with the Chiefs.
Oh,
Eric Bieniemy gets a lot of the credit because he's the offensive coordinator, but Andy Reid pulls a lot of strings behind the scenes. So
interesting.
Yeah. Very interesting. Obviously, Eric does call plays, but you see Andy with his giant play sheet with 10,000 things on it.
Yeah,
he's calling a lot of plays himself too. So I don't. It's interesting. I'll be very interested to see where he goes and see how he can help that system. Because if he goes to somewhere like the Falcons, his system that they run in Kansas City is not going to work with the Falcons if they keep Matt Ryan.
Right.
So I'm curious to see what happens there. Eric Bieniemy with the Chargers. That's something I would like to see.
That has been talked about, yeah.
Dos Primos with the nobody wastes generational talent like the Lions. If the Lions organization did not exist, we would have Barry Sanders. Well, we wouldn't have him still, but we would have had much more of Barry Sanders. We might still have Calvin Johnson in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew Stafford might have actually been able to make a decent name for himself.
Mm-hmm.
Sad. Let's see. Who else is on this list? Todd Bowles, the Buccaneers defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Kind of a weird year for the Bucs defense, but at least last year was amazing. They had a great defense last year.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have a top 10 defense this year, but they've had their hiccups. And Todd Bowles has been a head coach before. He knows what he's doing.
Right.
He has some experience. Here you go. 2 Bills. This could cripple your franchise. Brian Daboll of the Bills, offensive coordinator, and then Leslie Frazier, who is the assistant head coach and the defensive coordinator for the Bills. They deserve to be looked at for head coaching positions, 100%. Oh, yeah. But man, that would suck for the Bills.
Yeah, so they better win the Super Bowl this year.
Make it count. I feel like that's how it goes, though. You have a great year, and then you lose coordinators, and it's hard to repeat. Like I feel like that's what's been going well for the Chiefs. Like Bieniemy could have got a head coaching job last year. He was looked at last year for head coaching jobs, but he turned them down and stayed with the Chiefs, and now here they are doing their thing again. But the Bills, first year they have major success, could cripple them come next season. Not cripple. There's obviously talent there, but especially Brian Daboll and Josh Allen, their connection is strong. That would suck to see him leave.
I mean, it's been, Brian Daboll's name has come up for, in the past 2 years as potential head coach material somewhere. I really think somewhere like the Chargers is a good spot for him because he's proven to show that he can develop a young quarterback and, work with them, get the right play calling for their style. I mean, granted, Josh Allen did do a lot of, development in the offseason, just in his, his metrics, his ability to throw the football, all the tangibles that he needed. But doing that helped the system that Brian Daboll installs work better. Granted, you had Stephon Diggs and Cole Beasley there to just catch about anything that's thrown to them, but the football was thrown a lot better to them this year than we've seen in the past. And I think that's as much credit as it goes to Brian Daboll. I think as much credit should be going to Josh Allen. That I used to be not a huge fan of Daboll because of his play calling. He used to run the ball way too much because you try to run the ball. Then you get the play action pass set up to go because you get the defense to creep up, and then you get teams that play zone. It never used to work for the Bills in the last couple of years. But this year, it was kind of, scratch it completely, go full-blown, 5-wide pass from the start, and just guns blazing, pretty much. So
instead of let Russ cook, it's been let Allen cook. Let Joshy Boy cook.
Yeah, pretty much. Except Josh Allen doesn't make the play call, or he does. He audibles a little bit, but it's nothing like Russ, going down the field on a drive with no communication and just calling plays.
Yeah, sometimes that gets him in trouble, though. Everyone loves to talk about the times it works.
Yeah,
the times it doesn't work, people doesn't talk about the beers with the chat. Rep Dave.
But I think as much as Daboll has talked about, I think Leslie Frazier is definitely someone who has been a head coach before. He has had a top 5 defense, for the Bills. And this year, I think they're not quite top 5, just because of the slow start they had this year. But he's someone that's been overlooked a lot in the last couple of years, for potential head coaching position. And I was listening to the radio on the way home tonight, and it was a little bit of a scenario that I kind of liked, is that if maybe the Bills let Leslie Frazier go for a head coach, but then you give Ryan Dable a new title here, offensive coordinator and assistant head coach. It pays him a little bit more money. It kind of keeps him in the organization. You're kind of doing the Josh McDaniels situation in New England, making it something that works. Let's keep it working. As much as you want success for them individually, this team is, just rolling, and let's just keep it rolling. But yeah, I think it would be a little tough to lose both of them. I wouldn't be surprised if we lose at least one.
Yeah, I think you're in trouble with Daboll.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like you said, Frazier doesn't grab as much attention.
Right.
But I could definitely see him. There's not as many openings as I thought there was going to be. There's only 6.
Right, which is
a lot
below
of
average. Yeah, it's actually below average for the year. So,
which is surprising after the year we've had.
Mm-hmm.
And Leslie Frazier's head coaching record is 21-32-1 with a postseason record of 0-1. So that might be why he's not looked at for a head coaching job, because he's already been a head coach and he didn't, succeed by some people's standards. Oh my gosh, my boy Darren, my main man Darren in the house. What's up, sports guys? We're talking Buffalo Bills. So back when you paid attention to sports, according to their comment last year, these guys were Super Bowl contenders the last time you watched football. But it all comes full circle because they're Super Bowl contenders this year.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show. Who else we got listed? We got Matt Eberflus.
Okay.
Who knows? He's the Colts defensive coordinator. Obviously, the Colts have had a top 3 defense all season long.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That sucked. Robert Saleh, 49ers defensive coordinator. A lot of injuries this year.
Yeah.
They were a very good defense last year when they weren't injured. I think he gets most of his attention because of his personality. And I don't think that's much of a hot take.
Mm-hmm.
Just because this guy's running around pumping up his team all the time, that's fun for a head coach. If you're a head coach, you get to pump up your whole team like that. That could be good for your team.
Mm-hmm.
If he's head coach material, on the other hand, I don't know. I'm thinking he would need a strong offensive coordinator / play caller on his staff if he became a head coach. My opinion. Oh, wow. Yeah, there it is. I was waiting for it. Overrated.
It was
coming. I knew that was coming. 100%. Yeah. I think a lot of his attention comes from his personality. They couldn't confirm or deny anything these days. We're telling you. Yep, they're Super Bowl contenders this year. We're letting you know. Thank you. Derf didn't bless me. Jeez.
Sorry, bless you.
I'm going to replace you with Darren. You can come out here and talk about 80s and 90s football. Not a hack, but overrated. Okay.
All right.
Well, I don't even know if he has interviews. I really haven't seen much. I'm sure he's gotten one, but I haven't seen anything.
I know him and Bieniemy were they were up in the top, candidates for interviews. I haven't heard anything specific with Saleh. But it's just we're just beginning the off season. So who knows?
Long way to go. And then the last one, someone who I do know has gotten a specific request. I just put down here because I was just shocked. Mm-hmm. I was honestly shocked. Giants offensive coordinator Jason Garrett has been asked to do an interview with the Chargers.
Do you think he'll clap the entire time during the interview?
He'll say something really smart and he'll just be like, "Yep, nailed it. Good job." He does a little lip tuck. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Why the Chargers, out of all of these options, you would want Jason Garrett? I have no idea.
Yeah. You know who else I saw
just an interview, but
I saw another name out there, former head coach Marvin Lewis.
Oh yeah, they've been talking about him for a couple of weeks. He's been wanting to make a comeback.
Texans, I think, have been a big name. It's a lot of close connection there. So, yeah,
could get go from one old guy to the next old guy. Romeo
might as well.
Just keep it consistent. Marvin Lewis isn't a bad coach. I think he was handed a lot of bad cards with the Bengals. I don't know. I'd like to see him get another chance. I'm not against that.
Yeah.
I think he got a bad rap because he was stuck with the Bengals and that organization. The organization of the Bengals is close to one of the most poorly ran organizations in football. They're right there with the Lions, I'd have to say.
Yeah.
They don't spend money. They have the worst practice facilities in the league. The stadium is trash. Everything's trash. Owners are greedy. Awful organization, but they're on their way up, hopefully. That was one coach I realize that you want to give your rookie quarterback stability. I'm fine with that. That's the only reason I'm okay with this. But I was surprised Zach Taylor kept his job.
Oh, I was a little bit too, but I think that Joe Burrow showed promise with Zach Taylor.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to get, fingers crossed if Joe Burrow recovers, before beginning next season, that, Zach Taylor gets a full shake of getting looked at by the organization. Yeah. And then if it doesn't pan out, then, then next year I think it's a very good shot at him getting cut.
Yeah, I think he's on the hot seat this year, already. If it doesn't pan out, regardless of Joe Burrow's injury or not, this organization can't get 2 or 3 more wins again. You have to start moving forward at some point.
Yeah.
But he's only won one game on the road his entire tenure.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I was a little surprised he kept his job, but at the same time, I agree with you that you have to give the rookie some stability, the organization some stability at the head coach position. So I get it. I'm not completely against it. There's also 6 GM openings: the Falcons, Panthers, Lions, Texans, Jags, and Broncos. The Broncos GM position is open because John Elway, when I heard this news, it hurt. I hurt inside for Broncos fans everywhere. John Elway has not done a single thing right for this organization since he's been there. His big thing is he's supposed to bring in the right quarterback. He has not done so in his entire tenure. John Elway decided, I'm doing a great job. I'm going to promote myself. He is going to become the president of football operations, but he will give the day-to-day operations and full authority to oversee the personnel and football department to a soon-to-be GM. Is this what we're doing now? Is this what we're doing now, Broncos? You're just giving John Elway the ability to promote himself to whatever. He just created his own position. I'm now the president of football operations. It's like Dwight creating his own, when he becomes a manager, he's just creating his tree of made up positions. And he comes into the office from Stanford and he's like, I am now the sales leader rep of something. And he just makes up his own position to be a head of Dwight. This is what we're doing now. I'm now the president of football operations. What do you do? I'm the president. Okay, what's your role? Football and the operations of such. That's what we're doing now.
At least this might give the Broncos a chance at drafting slightly better.
God, you hope so.
And getting, more consistent talent on that team. It seems like you either have great talent on defense and mediocre on offense, or a little bit of mediocre on both. Lately, it seems like.
I feel like they just need a quarterback. I just get this, and offensive line. Their offensive line is spotty. But I just feel like they have pieces to be good, but just at the front, behind center, in the middle of the huddle is always just this guy that has no idea what he's doing. Every year, you just feel like it's going to click. Because that's what people said this year. Oh, that's what you said. The Broncos offense, man, they're going to be great this year. And then it just doesn't happen. And maybe you're right. The GM will oversee the personnel and football department. So maybe they bring this guy in and they can finally draft a quarterback. Who knows? If they're even looking to, maybe they just stick with Drew Lock. God knows.
From what I've seen, they're looking to stick with Drew Lock, but good luck.
Yeah, have fun. John Elway is and always has been a tool. I mean, he did play during Darren's time, so he knows best. I never watched a snap of John Elway live, but as his role with the Broncos, yes, I would agree that he's a tool. Feeling sorry for those Broncos fans out there. I do stuff. Rapid Dave does a lot of stuff. I'm not sure what that's a reference to, but Rapid Dave does do a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
it's true. What else? Oh yeah, and just actually, there's another one here that we got to talk about. So, two things involving cars. Raiders running back Josh Jacobs was booked for DUI after a late night single vehicle crash in Las Vegas Sunday night into Monday morning.
Mm-hmm.
I have so been told that he was tested improperly, and lawyers say that it was a bad judgment. I don't know. I don't know why you're crashing your car at 4 a.m. I'm just saying. But Josh Jacobs, that's a bad character, a bad addition to your character rap sheet.
Mm-hmm.
But also, who was it? Oh, because it was the Browns. Browns wide receiver Rashad Higgins.
Mm-hmm.
Browns already have a bunch of COVID problems. They're missing like an offensive line, like a corner piece of their offensive line. They're missing their head coach. They're missing like a linebackers coach, a tight end coach. They're missing a bunch of people. Big deal. Rashad Higgins, I'm going to go drag racing.
Yes. Oh, that's awesome.
I just want to go around to all my Browns fans and be like, should they postpone the game because he was drag racing? Is that what you want? Because they wanted all these games postponed for the Browns because of their COVID tests. Like, well, now you're missing Rashad Higgins. Should they postpone the game? I mean, probably should, right? I mean, you can't play without Rashad Higgins. Drag racing. And then it just gets better from there. Apparently, on police body cam, they just like the cop car cam, Rashad Higgins was seen destroying evidence of what was a blunt of marijuana.
Oh, wow.
So not going well for Rashad Higgins. Not going well. Not good. First playoff appearance in 20 years. And
this is what happens.
Yikes. I mean, at least Josh Jacobs is in the offseason. He has all offseason to figure out these DUI. Oh, yeah. Rashad Higgins?
Not so much.
Let's see. Brandon, I was talking about the made-up position. Oh, I do stuff. All right, now that makes sense. Now. That's funny. You ain't destroying a blunt. I mean, if the cops are on top of you, you're probably going to try and destroy it, or at least get rid of it somehow. It wasn't him. It was the one-arm man. That might be a joke, and I'm not getting it. I'm sorry, Alan. Welcome to the show, Alan. Hi. From the Strikeout Beer Boys are here. Brandon and Alan, Rapid Dave. Get caught with a beer, you ain't chucking it. Probably not, because I guess drinking and driving is a felony, isn't it? That is.
Yeah.
So is marijuana, though.
Yeah.
I feel like if you do get caught with a beer, you're chucking it. You're chucking it in the back seat. You might chuck it on the side of the highway. Like, you're not going to just keep it in your cup holder. I mean, if I got pulled over and I had a beer, this would never happen to me because I don't do that. But Fugitive, is that a movie? I don't know.
I think The Fugitive is a movie, but I don't know anything about it.
Rapid Dave, you damn well know I'm not a movie person. We've had this conversation many times. I don't even know. Slam it and hide the can. Okay, yeah, no, that's true. But I don't think you're not going to be able to rip a blunt like. No, it's gone. Yeah, I don't think blunts work the same way as beer. Could be wrong. I wouldn't know.
Wouldn't know.
Oh God, that's all over NFL news. Is that a movie? You know, I'm not a movie person. I'll look it up later. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. All right, we got 14 minutes to talk about some or The Mask. Is that a movie too? Oh, boy.
Yes, Jim Carrey.
Oh, the one with the green mask. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I know that one. Don't yell at me. We got like 14 minutes before we're joined by Gene Battaglia of the ESPN Rochester station. Is it the Rochester ESPN station or the ESPN Rochester station?
I would think it's the Rochester ESPN station.
That does make more sense. After I said it out loud, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you want to say like the station, the location of the station.
Right. It's like an ESPN branch of a radio station.
Right. Let's talk about pies. We got stuff to talk about, Alan. We got we can ask Gene what pie he would take to the face.
Oh.
That'll be the first question we ask him.
Then he leaves.
And then he just leaves. All right. What games do you want to talk about? What's been picking at your brain? Since we only got, 13 minutes before he's supposed to join us, what's been picking at your brain that you just had to get off your chest? I got one, but I can let you go first.
For me, this one is kind of like, what were they doing? Like, the Ravens or the Bengals? Like, okay, everyone flipping out because you had over 400 yards rushing, but you were playing the Bengals and won 38-3 in Week 17 when you had a playoff spot in the bag. And I'm pretty sure all the starters played the entire game.
I mean, to be fair, the Seahawks played their starters the whole game.
But they had something to play for.
Not really. Let me bring myself back because I was not to be fair. The only thing they were playing for was the number 1 overall seed, and they needed the Packers to lose to the Bears, and they needed the Saints to lose to whoever the heck they were playing that they were not going to lose to. All right. So let's be honest with ourselves. They were playing for nothing.
Okay.
I'm just going to throw that out there.
Very good. I mean, I don't know. It's the hype train again for, Lamar Jackson. Kind of just everyone's on board with them, and everyone's the Ravens they're moving this year. They're look out for them in the playoffs.
No.
Not really.
I will not listen to that argument. I refuse. And I've seen that more and more as we've now approached actual playoff time. Everybody is just screaming, watch out for the Ravens. And it's so beautiful that the Ravens will be playing the Titans in the first round.
Yeah.
This is great. I can't wait for this game. And it's just going to be embarrassing. I'm so excited. I'm not reading that comment. Pies. Fun fact, there's now an oatmeal cream pie cereal. I saw that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't want to eat it because I don't want to die of diabetes, but I did see that.
Interesting.
The one I wanted to just talk about because I loved this. The Raiders had nothing to play for. Raiders and the Broncos had nothing to play for. The Raiders score a touchdown with like 25 seconds left on the clock. These guys, well, first of all, they're going for 2. John Gruden's just like, screw it. I don't want to play overtime. I want to go home. As a winner or a loser, I don't care. I want to go home.
Right.
So they go for 2. They're taking forever. They're taking forever to get this playoff. They don't know what the play is going to be, whatever's happening, and the Raiders don't have a timeout. They don't know what's happening. They don't know what they're going to do. And so basically they're going to take this 5-yard penalty for delay a game because they're not going to get this ball snapped in time. Vic Fangio calls a timeout.
Oh, Vic, what are you doing?
And the announcers were just stunned.
Would be too.
The announcers are just freaking out like, why would you do that? They're about to take a 5-yard penalty. And they're going to, if they want to go for 2 still, it'll be, 7 yards?
Yeah.
They're going to kick an extra point and you at least get to go to overtime or at least try to win the game with 20 seconds left on the clock. And you call a timeout and save them.
Oh,
so yeah, the Raiders get that timeout. They talk the play over, and they score on a 2-point conversion. They win the game. Oh, Vic Fangio. Not a good way to end your season, bud. Allen says he wanted to help out, doing his good deed for the day. Yeah, maybe he just wanted to go home too.
Very
maybe
possible.
He was like, oh my God, they're not going to get this playoff. I don't want to go to overtime. Timeout. Let them figure it out. So give them some more time to figure this out. Make sure they can beat us here.
Oh, that's funny.
That was hilarious. What other game happened? The Lions lost to the Vikings 37-35.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, it was a tight back and forth game, but no one cares.
Yeah.
Allen cares. Is Matthew Stafford the toughest player in the NFL?
I would think so.
I mean, with the exception to, oh my God, I've been playing Rocket League. What's all the pie talk? I don't know. Allen brought up pie, so we've just been riding that train. We're not talking about pie. Allen's talking about pie. Phantom roughing the passer call. That might be with the Lions. And yes, he is. Matthew Stafford with nothing to play for in this game. He has a back injury, a thumb injury, probably 6 other injuries, knowing him. And he struts on out there and plays a competitive game. Man, it has to be the toughest cat in the league.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I think with exception to Alex Smith is what I was going to say. Because Alex Smith literally almost died, and he's out there playing. So,
speaking of Alex Smith, did you see what his wife did?
No.
With his leg brace?
Oh, the trophy, yeah.
She turned it into a Lombardi trophy shape. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. That was sweet. Man, that whole Smith family. Would you take a pecan pie to the face? Yeah, probably.
I think so. I feel like that's a dense pie.
Yeah, that would hurt though.
I guess that's like throwing something hard, like a wall at your face. Like there's no give there like the whipped cream pies. That
would hurt. Very good point. So I think I would still take it, but you just have to be soft with it. Can't hurt my fragile face. Antonio Brown had a good day with the Bucs as they beat the Falcons. John Wolford played well enough against the Cardinals to win. People are like saying John Wolford, oh, he was great. He's going to be able to lead the Rams through this playoff run. Stop. And then we got 2 exceptional running backs here. Jonathan Taylor with the Colts ran for 250 yards and 2 touchdowns. Electric against the Jaguars. And they needed every single one of those yards and touchdowns.
Oh, definitely.
For some reason, that game was super close. But Jonathan Taylor bailed him out. 250 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. And then Derrick Henry. At the beginning of the day, I looked and saw Derrick Henry was like 230 some odd yards away from 2K. No, just no way. It's unfortunate. Maybe he'll get close. There's no way Derrick Henry rushes for 2,000 yards in a season because he has to rush for like 230 plus yards. It was what? I think halftime or a little after halftime. The tweet comes in from Adam Schefter. Derrick Henry joins the 2,000-yard rushing club. Like, what? Huh? What did he just say? Yeah, Derrick Henry decided to run for 250 that day on 34 carries and 2 touchdowns. So he's the 8th running back? Oh, boy.
8th.
7th or 8th? Oh, boy.
I think it's 8th.
I feel like it is, too. That's just off
the memory. It's either 8th or 6th.
Oh,
I think it's 8th.
Somewhere between 6 and 8.
Somewhere in single digits, but not more than
9
and not less than 5.
Not more than 8. I think 8 would be the max. He's either number 8 or he's number 6 or 7. I don't know. But good on him. He won the Triple Crown for rushing, most rushing touchdowns, most rushing yards, yards per carry. Amazing season. And he showed me wrong. 100% showed me wrong this season. I was going to say he was a bust this year. He's going to go back to being a bust this season. I was 100% wrong.
Yeah.
So, I'll eat that. I will eat that. A feel-good partition. Oh, my God. Dan. Jesus.
He's just upset because Alex Smith left the 49ers.
That's true.
And went to the Chiefs and then went to the Washington football team. It's a former 49ers quarterback. That's why he's all upset about it.
That's a very good point. An apple pie to the face? Yeah, I would take an apple pie.
That's on the softer side.
It's going to be sticky, though. Very sticky.
Yeah.
A lot of syrup in that. Tony, let's not talk about that. Why not? I'm not talking about pies. That's 3 times he has played the Texans. He has rushed for over 200 yards.
Because the Texans' defense is non-existent.
J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt's been doing a lot of talking for having done 0 things for that defense.
Yeah.
He runs 200 yards a game just in general. Yeah. No, he got a point there. You guys are the best. I know. Thank you. Stars and guesses on stars and
guesses on point.
Maybe guests. He missed the T. 2021 is going to be a big year. A lot of stars and guesses. He was the check down king of the 49ers. He won't ever take any team anywhere. No, he is. And he's even the check down king with the Washington football team.
Yep. J.D.
McKissick is having a career year when Alex Smith is behind center. Because that's what J.D. McKissick does for a career. He doesn't run the ball. He just swings to the outside, catches it, and he's the check down guy. He's been having a great season. Pumpkin pie. Say that's probably the same as pecan pie. A little solid.
I think that's a little bit softer though than a pecan pie.
A little bit softer.
Yeah, it's got more of a cushion to it. I think a little bit.
Okay. All right.
Oh, I have breaking news.
Yeah, I saw. I was waiting for a chance to hold on. Let me get the. There we go.
Dun, 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 dun. Alabama. Wide receiver Devontae Smith becomes third wide receiver to win the Heisman and first since Desmond Howard in 1991.
I'm so happy they gave it to a wide receiver.
It's awesome.
I mean, any of the other quarterbacks probably could have been given it. Like Mac Jones, they could have easily given the Heisman to Mac Jones.
Yeah.
There's no reason why they couldn't have. I'm very happy that they gave the Heisman to a wide receiver. Just the fact that it's a wide receiver. Mm-hmm. For no other reason than just the fact that it's a wide receiver. He meant stats and guesses. That's what we thrive off of. We don't actually bring you real stats.
Yeah.
We just kind of throw it out there. And isn't that what I was going to create theme music for? Dylan guesses the stats or something. Like
the random things that just come out that appear in your head.
Yeah, something I read earlier today that might not be accurate. Yeah, stuff like that. Devontae Smith wins the Heisman. Thank you for that breaking news. That's cool, I guess. It is cool. A wide receiver won the Heisman. That's awesome. I think. Do you think Desmond Howard would take a French silk pie to the face? Why specifically Desmond Howard? I'm not entirely sure. But I would take a French silk pie to the face. French silk pies are delicious. I would eat that off my face. It is 8:00. I'm just checking my messages to see if I got anything news about like a potential delay, which I don't think I did.
Okay.
I think we're still good. Yep, we're still good. I don't have any. At least I don't have any messages. So we'll just keep going until Gene joins us. Gene Battaglia of the Rochester ESPN station. ESPN Rochester station. I don't know.
The Rochester ESPN station?
I'm going to have to ask him.
Rochester ESPN Radio.
Rochester. Oh, yeah. Because you wouldn't say ESPN Rochester Radio.
Right.
Okay. I like that. So Rochester ESPN station. I like that. Okay. Derf was just talking about him?
Oh, because of the Heisman. Yeah.
Right. Jesus. Why? That is so subtle. This is the Wheel of Pies. Not S you don't want to get hit with. Yeah. I mean, we're going to put soft things there. We're not looking to break someone's nose. What else happened? Hey, we were both. Did you pick the Chargers? You obviously picked the Chargers to beat the Chiefs, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because we tied again. We didn't even talk about that yet.
Oh, I know, right?
We officially tied our regular season. Like 17 weeks of football.
Yeah,
and we tied. We both went 167, 86, and 1. So we're taking it to the playoffs. That's simple as that.
Hey, that sounds good to me. You know what pick I did change though?
What did you pick?
I picked the Packers over the Bears. I switched.
Why'd you do that?
Because the Packers weren't going to win, or the Bears weren't going to win.
Right.
So I picked the Packers.
Oh, I thought you changed it to the Bears. And
no, I was originally the Bears on last week's show, and then I flipped back over to the Packers.
So I would have won. Son of a bitch.
Right.
Damn it, Fred.
But with the Bears losing and the Cardinals losing, this fulfills my bold prediction for the beginning of the season, where a team will make the playoffs with a losing division record, with the Bears going 2-4 in the division and backing into the playoffs.
Oh, that's the wrong thing. Is that what you're digging right now?
Yeah, I love it. Bold prediction coming true. Just love it.
Yeah, I didn't realize how rare that was.
I could not find any stats. I could find losing record teams making the playoffs. You know, the Seahawks had done that. There was a couple teams from the 80s had done that. But I looked up their division records, and they were either 500 or above. Everything I looked up, the Bears were the only team that has done this.
I didn't realize that was a thing. Like,
I don't think anyone else thinks it's a thing, but I love it. I think this is awesome.
Yeah, you came to me with that hot take, and at first I was just kind of like, okay, like, is that really hot? I don't know. I couldn't tell if that was a hot take or not. But then you it came true, and then you let us know, like, that's and when you think about it, it is, you play 6 games in your division.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say you lose more than half of those, you go 2-4. That's 2-4 against your record. To make the playoffs by starting something 2-4 is rare.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, once you think about it, that is kind of crazy. What do we talk? I got to go back a few comments here. The show is officially out of control here. It's always out of control. I'm not even worried about it.
That's how we live by.
You're just bringing up pies. Banana cream pie, sweet potato pie.
Oh.
All of Brandon's picks last week hit. Did you pick all the games? Like, did you go 16-0? Or did you only pick a few? Because we were close. Which ones did we get wrong?
Hold on. I wrote down here.
I know I got Cowboys Giants wrong.
Yep. We got Cowboys Giants wrong. We got Arizona Rams.
Yep.
And Jets Patriots.
Oh, Jets. That's, yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of just that was a throw up, though, with the Jets and Pats. Like, who's just going to be worse today? And I was going off of the fact that Jets have won a couple now. Like, they were kind of riding high, and the Patriots have been doing the opposite.
Yeah.
But that's unfortunate. With doing great. He's a hashtag doing great. With you dongs, I did. I put a couple stipulations in there. I stepped away for a minute, and we were talking about football. I'll come back, we're talking about pies. We're always talking about pies. What do you mean, Darren? That's like a staple of this show, is talking about pies. Hey, this happened. Saints beat the Panthers 33-7. That's the other game that the Seahawks needed the Saints to lose.
Right.
To get that number 1 overall seed. Which brings me to the Seahawks. You know, the Seahawks won the game.
Mm-hmm.
If they would have lost the game, they wouldn't have had a lower seed. And if they would have won, the Packers weren't losing, the Saints weren't losing, so they had nothing to play for. And they got Jamal Adams hurt late in the game. So,
oh, okay. See, I didn't see much of the game. I saw a couple updates, but I was watching Bears, Packers, and Titans, Texans during the 4:00 slot. So I really didn't see much of it at all. But I know the score. I was like, oh man, the Seahawks aren't doing so good right now. And then I see the final score.
Anything by not watching that game, I'll tell you that. It was the most boring game.
Oh.
If you love defense, this is your game. No one loves defense. If someone says they love watching a defensive game, they are lying to you.
Oh.
Yeah, because it's so much fun to just watch offenses go 3 and out and punt all the time. That's great. Yeah, lots of fun.
Oh.
People that say that are liars. Oh my God, you guys are just Mississippi mud pies. That's not a real thing. Big pie kind of guy. You guys talk about other things than pies? Yeah, I was kind of surprised. Someone said that we talk about football a lot too. I don't know about that. Ice cream pie, pumpkin pie, eggnog pie. That's not a thing.
I hope it's not a thing.
Crust or crustless. All pies have crust. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Dos Primos. It's the pie show. It's always been the pie show. Eggnog pie. Eggnog pie is not a thing. But the moment has come. Get out of here with your pie questions. The time has officially arrived. We can't be more excited about this. We're starting out 2021. Very exciting. We have Gene Battaglia joining us from the ESPN Rochester studio. I'm changing things around.
There we go.
Hey, Gene, how you doing?
Good. Dylan, I owe you an apology because I'm waiting and I realized there was this button that said click to enter the room. So you're going to see an email from me saying so. Sorry for the delay here. This is where my thing would hit the old man music, learning this technology thing here. So. How are you guys?
We're great.
Doing good.
We're an hour into this absolute disaster of a thing we call a podcast, and we're just glad you're here. Things were getting kind of crazy. The comment section over here was getting way out of control. So we're glad we can finally change gears to something that might be football related.
Yeah, tell you. I mean, this is exciting, is it not? I mean, This is probably not in your lifetime of experiencing anything like you're seeing now. Have this expectation that you're actually going to win the whole thing. It is a real expectation that the Bills can get by Indianapolis. It's setting up perfect where, okay, I feel bad for what's happened in Cleveland, but if the Bills end up with Pittsburgh in round 2, well, then you got to beat one of these 3 teams, the Chiefs, the Titans, or the Ravens, to get to the Super Bowl. And if it's anybody but the Chiefs, then you get that game at home. How can you not like this path? This is setting up beautifully for the Buffalo Bills right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll hand it over to our resident Bills fan over here with Derf.
Oh, I completely agree. This is perfect storm right now for the Bills. If it would have been the Browns or the Dolphins, Dolphins would have been a repeat. I wouldn't have been worried at all for sure. Browns a little bit with the run game with Chubb and Kareem Hunt, but the Colts, they've been playing this game where they start out a little hot and then they get flattened later in the second half, and then that allows the Steelers allowed to be opportunistic and make some adjustments and get points on the board to get the wins. But yeah, absolutely. The way this Bills team is playing right now, this is perfect opportunity for them against the Colts.
Yeah, it's funny. What was the down game for the Bills this year? Was it a game where they were flat against the Jets in the men's divisional game, or was it a game that they needed to strip Cam Newton at the end to preserve the 3? Maybe it was the game against the Titans, but all that happened back in October. I mean, this team, outside of a Hail Mary from Kyler Murray, I mean, this has been an outstanding run for the Bills. And it just feels like this is their time. You go back to this time last year against Houston, where they blew a 16-0 lead. They had that game. You're driving at the end of the first half, and you set up for a field goal. And then you had that wacky play, if you remember, at the beginning of the second half. And you're thinking this is going to be a blowout. J.J. Watt comes up with a big sack. The game turns. You end up losing in overtime. That overtime loss stuck with Josh Allen. We talked about that today. It stuck with a lot of these guys. And then you compound that with just the humiliation of losing a game to Arizona the way you did. This is a team that's hungry. They're motivated. Are they good enough to beat Kansas State? It's going to be fascinating to find out. I don't want, you could say I'm jumping ahead here too much to the Chiefs, but I don't see many paths for the Colts to beat Buffalo this week.
Hey, I'm not a Bills specialist by any means. I mean, I can only go off of what I personally had to experience as a Seahawks fan in an absolute drudging. Not a good week for my fan base, but like you're saying, the path seems perfectly clear. The matchups seem great. Who knows what's going to happen with the Browns and Steelers? That's all up in the air. neither team seems like a giant threat. But the Bills, the one thing you had to worry about was the run game. Now, Jonathan Taylor just had a great game in Week 17. Obviously, if the Browns move forward, you have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. But it seems like you don't have that worry anymore. If the weak spot seems to have been fixed as of late on this run they've been on.
Yeah, and it coincides with getting Matt Milano back.
Mm-hmm.
It's an off-season issue for the Bills. What do? How much do you pay him? Will somebody come in and offer more? Yeah, that's a real possibility. But for now, you can kind of point to not only Matt Milano when he came back, when Tremaine Edmonds got healthy. I thought Tremaine Edmonds was playing out there with one wheel, so to speak, for much of October. And when he started to get healthier, that's when you saw the Bills' defense just not – they weren't giving up. They don't give up chunk plays. That's the thing. And can Philip Rivers be a quarterback that can make enough plays to get his team downfield? Can he make enough third downs? I think the Bills are going to, they're going to stop this or at least limit the damage that these two running backs from Indianapolis can do. The question is, can Philip Rivers find his tight ends, find T.Y. Hilton? Can he make enough plays? And I really don't have any faith in Philip Rivers at this advanced stage.
Yeah, I mean, I think just the fact that Philip Rivers is so one-dimensional, it really, if the Bills can, my theory here is that if the Bills, can lock down that run game enough, it's going to make Frank Reich have to go into more passing plays. And then if the pressure is already there from the run game, they get the pressure on Philip Rivers. That makes him, become very much one-dimensional. He's not mobile. And I think that's just opportunistic for the Bills defense and how they've been playing, this really the last 3 quarters of the season. And it's great.
Yeah. You look at the forecast and that actually favors the Bills when you get a nice clear day with this passing attack. And if the Bills go by the script here, if they can get a lead of double digits here, that's when the running goes out the window. I mean, saw Miami barely tried it this past week. Now, Dylan, I know you're a Seahawks fan. Who knows how that game would have been a little bit different had you had your top running backs, but the Seahawks really didn't commit to the run either. So the idea that whether it's or the Bills end up facing this postseason, that team should commit to the run. I think there are 2 teams that can do that, and it's not Kansas City. It's Baltimore. Baltimore had 400 yards on the Bengals last week on the ground. That is unbelievable. That should scare any Bills fan. It's Tennessee, of course, with Derrick Henry, and that was the worst loss the Buffalo Bills were dealt with this year. But again, going back to what I said earlier, the beauty of the way this laid out, Tennessee and Baltimore, one of those teams, you don't have to worry about that. I know you guys were watching the end there of all the 4:00 games on Sunday. If you're a
oh,
I don't know, Gene froze.
To win this game, because if they do that, that inflation stuff. Here's your reward. Get Derrick Henry's game. That's quite a drop there from Derrick Henry to the Indianapolis Colts. I think most Bills fans should be very pleased that they drew the Colts and not the Titans here.
Oh, absolutely.
By far the best card that could have been dealt when you start looking around.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was screaming that the entire offseason. Philip Rivers to the Colts. You're gonna waste a year of this defense and getting Jonathan Taylor. You're gonna waste a year of this running. You're gonna waste a year of everything by putting Philip Rivers back there. And I think it's good they made the playoffs. God bless their souls. But I think it's going to come down to a play that the quarterback has to make for the Colts. And if you put Brissett back there, if you would have put like some rookie back there, anyone but Philip Rivers, I think they might have had a shot. But with Philip Rivers back there, game on the line, I don't trust him.
Well, it's a good lesson in business or any walk of life. I mean, why is Philip Rivers there? It's because he has this relationship with Frank Reich. I mean, did the Colts really do their due diligence as far as their choices at quarterback this year, or did they just go the easy comfortable route? I'll leave that to you guys to discuss, but it seems like to me they could have had other options. They're not getting Tom Brady to go to Indiana. That's not happening, but there could have been other players for them. They might have gotten somebody in the draft or traded up. I don't know, but I could say this. You got to do Phillip Rivers if you want to be a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least they made the playoffs. God bless those. Like I said, I mean, it's fun. It's fun for them. Jonathan Taylor got a great year in, and hopefully this offseason they can get that corrected. But we're going to focus on the AFC East, of course. And, the Bills got a great path. We'll talk about them even more once we make our predictions. But how sweet was this season to just watch the Patriots just do what they did, to see what happened to that organization? Were you just salivating every Sunday, just like, oh, this is great. Finally, the relief is here.
Well, it's funny. It didn't start off that way because if you remember the Patriots, they beat the Dolphins. It's like, oh, gosh, it's 21-3, and it's like old counting. But I hate to say, point to COVID is kind of but that seemed like that was the turning point when Newton got COVID. They had that delay and lost at home to Denver. Like, what is wrong with this team? A Patriot team can't do that. And you realize, wait a second, maybe Ken isn't all that. And then you realize, wait a second, Edelman is shot. They don't have anything around them. This defense, it doesn't have anything. And then one by one, it just started to fall apart for the Patriots. The great thing about this is that there's no easy fix for all Patriot fans watching right now. Maybe you bring back Jimmy Garoppolo if the Niners move on from him. Maybe you draft somebody else. Maybe you offer up big dollars to Dak Prescott. Good luck with all those scenarios, okay? For Buffalo Bills fans, you've had to suffer since the end of the Jim Kelly era. What is this, 25 years here? The Bills fans have been waiting for another quarterback until Josh Allen really proved himself. So for New England, good luck finding the next quarterback. And then Danger and I talked about this on the show that, hey, what are the odds? Yeah, what are the odds, guys, that Josh Allen is the only returning quarterback in the AFC next year? Because Sam Darnold, you think they should move on from him. Here's why. Because maybe Sam Darnold is a good quarterback, but you have to make that decision if you're going to pay that guy his second contract. If you're not 100% sure, don't do it, because that'll set your franchise back. Instead of 1 year, it'll set it back multiple years. So the Jets have a rare opportunity to draft a potential next franchise quarterback. If they leave that guy's at number 2, you move on. The Jets will have a new quarterback. And I'm on record saying I don't like what I see out of Tua Tagovailoa. And I know experts will say give it more time, but look, the way his ball comes out, his height, all the intangibles, and it just is there. He does not have the look of an NFL quarterback. And with Miami sitting at number 3, if we saw the Arizona Cardinals do this 2 years ago, and I don't know if Kyler Murray is going to be the quarterback that gets the Cardinals to a postseason game, much less a win, a Super Bowl. But they made the move. Why wouldn't Miami explore their opportunities? So where you say how good it was for the Patriots, how good the Buffalo Bills set up not just this year, but entering the 2021 season, I ask you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think completely this. I think Josh Allen is, I 100% agree there. Josh Allen could be the only, returning quarterback. Cam was on a 1-year deal. He fell apart at the end of the season. He's catching more touchdowns than he's throwing in Gillette Stadium. So who knows what's going on there with him? Maybe he can make a position change. There's opportunity for him, but who knows? But yeah, Sam Darnold, I think, it was said by, a lot of analysts and a lot of media back in October when they were falling apart, get out of New York. This is not for you. Like, there's change coming. Get out, find a new place to grow and become a better quarterback. 100% agree there. And like you said, we saw Tua against the Bills on Sunday, and he just looked so erratic. So his tangibles were terrible. He didn't have Fitzpatrick to come in and save him. And I think, as much praise as the Dolphins have been given, for running this 2-quarterback system, I think it has done nothing but hurt Tua. He has not been able to, take that bump on the chin, learn how to grow from it. And, everyone's praising Brian Flores for, Coach of the Year. To me, that makes me question it, because he's not giving the right opportunity for a rookie quarterback to develop.
Might have froze again.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's an organizational problem, because when you look at how this is set up, compared to Josh Allen, okay? GM drafted him, the head coach wanted him. He's got the quarterback coach, offensive coordinator. They gave him a line. They gave him wide receivers. He's got everything you need. It took a few years to get everything, all the pieces. But from the get-go, everyone, when you compare it to Tonga Vailoa, okay, you draft him. Why would you hire Chan Gailey, offensive coordinator? Chan Gailey will run the Ryan Fitzpatrick offense. Is he your starting quarterback, or is it Tonga Vailoa? If Tonga Vailoa was really going to be the guy that everybody's right around the organization, and you need to hire a coordinator that's your hand. Just me signals, okay, now you might have been on board here with the Tonga Vailoa thing. From the outside, and I don't know this to be true, but it seems like maybe the owner might have made that pick down in Miami, that I want the quarterback in Alabama as opposed to maybe other people. And if you're the head coach and you're the coaching staff, you kind of got to go along with it.
Yeah.
And to the idea that we're actually winning games, you remember that whole season, and then all of a sudden, wait a second, why are they benching Fitzpatrick now? Worked out that one game because they beat the Rams, extra prep. But to me, what does that tell the rest of this team? Okay, we're not going to win this year. It's never good signals. So it seems like the Miami organization this year, in regards to their quarterbacks, we're sending mixed signals. That's never a good thing.
Yeah, a lot of. I've been questioning that. I was, go on record. I said Brian Flores for Coach of the Year. I loved everything he was doing, and he just started all of this stuff with the quarterbacks, all these switches. Tua and Fred took the words right out of my mouth. They're hurting the development of Tua. I think the Dolphins are the closest team to. I don't want to go out and go crazy here and say that the Dolphins are threatening the Bills. But I think they're the closest. The Jets and the Patriots obviously have a lot to work on, but the Dolphins have a very good team built up, I'll at least say top 10, not very generous, but top 10 defense that they've put together. And then, like you said, they have the 3rd overall pick from the Texans. They can do whatever they want with that, get the top player in the draft, another quarterback they can try out. They have number 18 as their regular pick. They have 2nd-round picks up the yazoo. This is a team that can just keep building and potentially, at least at a minimum, threaten the Bills' reign. But we didn't see that in Week 17, obviously. But moving forward.
Yeah.
They're one pick away from rectifying, I think. I mean, imagine if Field from Ohio State, and it's possible, falls to number 3. Okay, then ta-da. They're them now. So it's it'll be to see what, if anything, our quarterback value will be at 3 if they actually have the fortitude to do something like that, or maybe they glide Dak Prescott. I don't know, but everything should be on the table in Miami. Their GM today, I don't know if you guys caught this, Chris Greer, was asked the question. Tonga Vailoa is our starter. I'm so impressed. Okay, well, yeah, this is what you say right now.
Yeah, when the offer hits the table of maybe Dak, of maybe a quarterback in the draft.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Tune can change real quick. All right. So before I completely just lose all my listeners here and they get completely mad at me, I just have to ask you one question. I'm trying to pick one question that these people want answered. These insane people. Do you prefer? Where's the one? Do you prefer pies or cakes?
Pies or cakes? Ooh. Huh. Yeah, I get to pick here. I'm going to go with pie. Here's like most. You have a red pie, an apple pie, pumpkin pie, pecan pie can be really good. Get a good blueberry pie. Cake, what kind of? You get that would be about it. So for the variety, the quality, I'm going pie over cake.
All right. Yeah.
The reasoning behind that, it's airtight logic right there. 100%. I'm on board with that. Oh, geez. I got all these people are crazy in the comment section. So
okay,
we'll go to some play. Oh, yeah. Fred.
What's that?
Is that a pie question?
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear it.
Sorry. We just got slow internet. I think we got some slow internet connection on your side, so we're getting some broken audio.
Okay. Do you want me to dial back in here, guys, or what do you think?
If you want to try, we can wait. We got all day.
Yeah.
If you want to give it a shot. Maybe we'll wait for the recall. We'll wait to see if he... I'll keep my eye in the box down in the corner. I can see him, see if his camera comes back on.
Yeah.
A lot of comments over here coming through. Jeez. Can't believe you didn't say Jackson's cake.
Oh, yeah. Best cake in Rochester.
Oh, Jackson's. The little Jackson's down the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, that place it caught on fire a little bit earlier or later in 2020.
Yeah.
Had a small fire in there. Glad they recovered from that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Back to pies. No, we're not. We're not going back to pies. We're waiting to see. I'm keeping an eye on Gene's camera down in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
See if he calls back in or if it just starts moving again. It's stuck right now. But yeah, all right. He's going to try and call back in. So we're just waiting for Gene. We're not talking about more pies. You be on your best behavior, you people. Look what you people have done. Watch this. Look at the monster you've created. Comment section. We got pie over cake now.
West side.
I caught a little bit of that audio.
Sounded like phone number.
Phone number? We could try a phone number. We don't have a phone line, but I can definitely hold the phone up to the mic.
Yeah.
We can give it a shot. Yeah, we can give that a shot. Let me. I'll send you. Yeah, I will. I'll send you a quick message and see if we can do it.
Breaking up here with the camera.
Yeah, breaking up a little bit still.
It was a little better, but it was still just a touch free.
All right, I will send over a message right now, and we're gonna get this fixed.
Yeah,
it's no big deal. This whole show is a derailment. It's completely fine.
Yeah, we're just doing our thing.
This is just a normal week.
Yeah. I mean, we apologize to the people who go back and listen to this later on with all this dead space.
I might edit something. Roadcasters are so expensive, Brandon. You can buy me one if you want.
Yeah.
Guys, great. Good job on getting him. He likes bits. Yeah. No, their show on ESPN Radio.
Mm-hmm.
He's great. And I think next week we might have his co-host as well.
Oh, very nice.
Hello.
So old-fashioned way. See, radio, we don't have to worry about all this webcasting. My apologies, guys. So.
Oh, that's not a problem.
Oh, not a problem.
So I'm assuming, Fred, you just responded so you can hear him.
Yep, I can hear him.
But he can't hear you. So we're going to...
Can't hear me.
we have limited technology for our show, but we're still going to figure this out. I'll help translate with Fred. We'll figure this out. We're going to do great. This is going to be great. But I think as long as the listeners can hear, that's really all that matters.
Okay, yeah, my apologies here. So.
No problem. No problem. Absolutely fine. Where do we love? We obviously you came in and said pies over cakes.
Mm-hmm.
We did have one listener come in and they said he can't believe you didn't choose Jackson's Bakery cakes. I don't know if you're a fan of Jackson's.
Oh yeah, Jackson's. Yes. Gosh, if that's right next to Leone's, Stone Road, and that has been there. I don't know how many years, right? So it's one of those places where you walk by and it's like the smell will just kind of pull you in. Jackson's, Leo's is pretty good. So yeah, I don't want to slight any of our fine bakeries here in town. I mean, yeah, so that's not to say I'm not anti-cake though. I mean,
oh yeah, no one said that. We don't want to offend cakes at all. No, definitely not. We're just picking favorites, but no, we're not slighting cakes. Absolutely not.
Can I bring this topic to our show tomorrow? Because I think that would be a good debate there. It's pie over cake. I mean, everybody would agree with that. I mean, it's not even.
That's a solid debate. That goes on for generations. That's not just. I mean. I'm sure everyone has an opinion on that. You can 100% use that as a poll question for tomorrow's show. And for those that are just tuning in, this is Gene Battaglia from ESPN Radio in Rochester, New York location. So with the sports bar with Mike Danger as well.
Yeah, I think Danger wants to come on the show too here. So
yeah, I tagged him in a tweet. We got to holler at him. We'll work on that during the week.
That's it. So, well, what do you think of this Bills-Colts matchup here? I mean, this is I got to get your take here. What do you think here, bud?
My own Bills-Colts matchup. I think I said a little bit earlier. They dealt the perfect hand here with getting the Colts in this matchup. And then even if this game does go perfectly, like we all assume, they might have some trouble with the run game if they bow out the run game, make the offense one-dimensional, as Derf said. Mm-hmm. I think they should be okay. What do they get to follow it up with? Either the Browns, who are having COVID issues, they're not used to the playoffs. They could easily falter. We've seen their ups and downs all season long. Or they can end up with the Steelers, who the Bills already showed they can beat the Steelers, and they have just been on a downhill slope for this past quarter of the season. It doesn't get any better than this for the Bills, I don't think. It's just looking great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there is one big variable that we don't know about, and that's what's going on in the world today. I mean, I look at what's happened to Cleveland, and it's not a death knell here for the Browns against the Steelers. No, I mean they as long as they have their quarterback and enough pieces on defense, they'll compete in this game, and they have every chance to win it. But not to have your head coach, not to have your right guard, and you don't know where this contact tracing. That's my biggest fear from a Buffalo standpoint. It's not the Chiefs. It's not the Steelers. It's not anybody you might meet in the Super Bowl potentially. It's COVID-19. And that's that would be a heck of a way, for this to go. But it is kind of a concern that not just for the Bills, for any team. So let's just hope that, whether it's the Seahawks or whether it's whoever it may be, that everybody makes it through here this postseason, and we don't have to wonder what if because of that.
Yeah, watching what's happening to the Browns right now is heartbreaking. I have a lot of friends that are Browns fans, and they've been having issues with this COVID thing for a couple of weeks now, and now to see it affect them in the playoffs. That's heartbreaking, and especially since it's been 19, 20 years since the last time they've been in the playoffs. It really is sad, and I agree with you 100%. I hope this doesn't affect any other teams moving forward. We all just want a clean playoffs. We want to see everyone healthy. We want to see full teams out there. We've done great so far. We've done our best as a league. Now it's just finish strong.
Yeah. that's it. There's no doubt. So, what a weekend though. I mean, you've got. I got to make sure I get all my projects and everything done just so I can spend the maximum time on my couch Saturday and Sunday. First time ever we've got triple headers on both days. This is it's not going back to the old way. I'll tell you that. This is here to stay. If we're going to be watching television all day Saturday and Sunday as football fans, then the league will be happy. The advertisers will be happy, and everybody's going to make a lot of money. So I'm really, really excited about this weekend, just kind of kicking back and watching some football.
And, with this playoff run, the Bills don't have to worry about Nathan Peterman possibly making an appearance. We should be good. We should be in the clear. As far as I know, no practice squad. He's over across the country. Don't have to worry about that.
That's funny. Look, you forget it wasn't Tyrod. He had to come in and finish that game up against Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. Tyrod got knocked out. 10-3.
Yeah, that was a thriller. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That only 3 years ago, but that was for sure one to forget. No doubt about it.
Well, I'm going to ask both you and Fred this question. Just one last question from the because I actually like this question, so I'm actually going to. It has nothing to do with pies or cake, and then we can make some playoff picks. Alan from another show, he's one of our good friends. He says if you can go back in time and add any former Bills player in his prime to the current team, who would it be?
That is a great question. You want me to go first here? Or?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, who would it be? And I could go back as far. I'm not going to say running back. I'm not going to. Stephon Gilmore.
Oh.
Stephon Gilmore or Bruce Smith. One of the two. Because this defense, it's solid. It's sound. But could you make it lights out? You're not throwing at Tre'Davious White. If you got Gilmore in his prime, and his best year came in New England, but he was still pretty good in Buffalo. Or, the Bills' defensive line's been good, but it's not that one, oh my gosh, where is number 78 lining up? So as I'm talking this through here with you, who would I rather have? Am I allowed to change my mind?
You can do whatever you want. There are zero rules on this show. Yeah, whatever you want.
All right, Bruce Smith would be the guy I would want, just because you definitely will need to get to the quarterback. And nothing against Jerry Hughes or A.J. Epineza, but this Bills defensive line doesn't have that player like a Bruce Smith. So Bruce Smith would be my final answer.
All right, Bruce Smith. Fred, who would you pick?
Ooh, I like that pick. But I feel like I'm going to go with the obvious choice here. I'm going to go running back. I think it's a toss-up between, Thurman and, OJ back in his heyday. I want to say Thurman Thomas. I think, with the way Josh Allen is playing, I think he's playing probably better than Jim Kelly right now. And it would just be the complete offense to really make – there's no doubt that teams would be afraid of the Bills for sure.
All right. And as awkward as this is, because he didn't hear a word you said, he did go running back Thurman Thomas to round out this offense and make it deadly.
Yeah. Thurman was, you watch his old tapes, he was one of a kind. That's a good pick too. Thurman, absolutely.
All right. Great question, Alan. Thank you for that. Not going to read that comment. Let's make some playoff predictions. I mean, this is the fun part. This will also help us determine who the Bills might be playing down the road. So we'll start out with obviously the first game, which is, I think we agreed it's a little weird that they gave the Bills the 1:00 slot, kind of a slap in the face. But hey, the Bills will be facing the Colts in Buffalo. Who are we taking?
Oh, we're taking the Bills in this one.
All right.
Yeah, what is the point spread is 7?
I had to ask.
Yeah, do you lay the 7 in this one? Yes, you do. The Bills have been winning games by double digits. They won last week by 30 points. The week before that, they won by 29. The week before that, they won by 29. They're just taking apart opponents. And Indianapolis may be a little half step better than Miami. So I don't think it's going to be a 30-point win, but I'll say the Buffalo Bills will win and they'll cover in this game.
Win and cover.
Oh.
All right. Fred.
Well, I'm taking the Bills. I
know. I'm sorry.
I'm excited for this game because I want to feel good about it. And I feel good about it, so let's just roll. I'm ready for this weekend, and it's like same thing with Pat the past weekend. It was like, man, is it Sunday yet? Like, I'm not gonna get this Dolphins game going. I don't know. I literally sat there and smiled the entire game watching the Dolphins game. It just feels so good to be a Bills fan right now.
Yeah, it's finally good to feel good about your team and confident in your team. It's not like the Bills made the playoffs before and it's like, all right, we're going to win the Super Bowl. You didn't feel confident. Now it's a confidence. So we're all taking the Bills to go to the next round, and they will either be playing. I'm going to skip around on our schedule just so we can talk about it, make the actual pick. The Browns at the Steelers. Gene, who do we have?
We've got the Steelers in this one. I mean, the Browns cannot win in Pittsburgh. 38-7 was the score. Now, the Steelers are playing much better football at that point, but I think just giving Ben Roethlisberger a little bit of a timeout last week is going to do wonders. And the Browns, with all this turmoil with the COVID and not being at the facility today on Tuesday, and can you imagine if they're not cleared to get into their facility until later in the week? This is not a November game against the Bengals. This is the first playoff game in Cleveland in 18 years. So I feel really bad for Browns fans. You'll get a chance some other year. This will be the Steelers' day. I'll take the Steelers in this game.
All right, Fred.
Yeah, I agree. I think the fact that the Browns struggled a little bit against, a lot of Steelers backups. It wasn't Mason Rudolph still almost won them the game. It was kind of, like this Browns just aren't quite ready. They're getting hit with the wrong thing at the wrong time with COVID, just other situations on, for the team. But I'm definitely thinking the Steelers with Ben in there and, the normal starters that are still available. I think Steelers take the win.
All right, so we got 2 picks for the Steelers, and I really wanted to take the Browns. I think I'm doing that with my heart. I do agree. It's just a good feel. You just kind of want to. You want to root for them. All the missing pieces they're going to have, not being able to practice, it's going to hurt. So I originally did pick the Browns. But here we are sitting at 8:46. I made that pick around 4 o'clock today. I'm going to have to go with the Steelers. Officially go with the Steelers. It's unfortunate, but...
Yeah. It's, well, you're allowed to change your pick there. Things change and get better for Cleveland, but unfortunately I don't see that happening.
Yeah, all season long, we tell the audience, we make these picks on Tuesday. It's a long week. If something happens, always look for our official picks on our social media come Sunday. Things can easily change down the road. There are no rules here. I say that all the time. No rules. Just do whatever we want.
Absolutely.
All right. Our next one, going back to Saturday, our second game on Saturday is the Rams at the Seahawks. All righty. This is a good one. It's round 3. Ding, ding. Who do you got?
Who is the Rams quarterback again?
John Wolford.
Yeah. It's well, I'm happy for him. He outdueled the, So let me see if I can get this straight. Wolford is the guy from the AAF, and the Arizona guy was from the CFL.
Correct.
So now, well, you're not getting a CFL quarterback. Getting Russell freaking Wilson this week, so I'll take the Seahawks.
Man, it's a tough pick. Who are you taking, John Wolford or Russell Wilson? Oh boy, Derf, who are you taking?
I'm taking the Seahawks. It seems like the Seahawks defense, really made trouble for Jared Goff, and it's not looking like Goff's going to be in there, and it's going to be Wolford again. So I think the Seahawks play even better on defense against the Rams.
My only concern is, Jamal Adams not going to be, if he does play, won't be 100%. It's a small concern. Wolford did not look great. His legs moved a little bit. He was the leading rusher that day, which is more of a concern than anything that he was the leading rusher.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm obviously taking my Seahawks. Do or die. They could be playing the Packers this week. I probably would still be picking the Seahawks. Doesn't matter.
You're a true fan.
True fan. They would have gone 16-0 this season if with just going off of my picks. But we're all in consensus again. This makes for good radio. All right. The Buccaneers at the Washington football team. All righty.
Well, I want to pick Washington. I really, really do. But when I hear Ron Rivera float out this idea of rotating quarterbacks, oh my gosh. No. This Tom Brady's on the other side. Take Tampa Bay. And I know this will probably be another agreement. I'd be surprised if you guys went the other way here.
This is going to be tough to swing the other way. Fred, who you got?
I looked at Washington because it's a primetime game with the Bucs, and just the struggle Tom Brady has had with the Bucs in primetime. But I think the Bucs, Tom Brady's in the playoffs. It's going to be the Bucs.
All right, we got 2 for the Bucs. Yeah, that struggle with the Buccaneers and Tom Brady in primetime they've had this season. This is the Saturday night game. It doesn't matter at this point. They're playing a D-League team right now. And the rotating quarterbacks, like you said, Gene, once I saw that, I understand why he wants to do that. Alex Smith's leg is a little banged up, the calf injury with the surgically repaired leg. I get it. It's just not – you can't do this in the playoffs. It's just not going to happen. So, we're all going
you're
Buccaneers.
You're not going to be able to match Tom Brady point for point doing that. Sorry.
And especially since the Buccaneers have been playing great lately. Antonio Brown is clicking at 11 receptions. Oh my God. Imagine this offense. Some people have been putting the Bucs in the Super Bowl lately with how well this offense has clicked. Boy, oh boy. It's looking interesting. Hitting into Sunday, we got the Ravens at the Titans. A little bit of a rematch here. But man, people are liking the Ravens this time around.
Yeah, and let's not forget what happened last year. I mean, the Ravens were the number 1 seed, and Tennessee went in there and just boom. It wasn't close. It was an embarrassment for Lamar Jackson. This year, you had Lamar Jackson and hosting the Titans again, and there were the Titans, and there was Derrick Henry. So I don't think the third time is going to be a charm. I think this, to me, is aside from your favorite team, whether that's the Bills, the Seahawks, whoever, this is going to be the game I'm focusing on the most because I just think it's going to be a fantastic game. But in the end, there's a Tennessee team that has shown they can make more plays in the postseason. Lamar Jackson is 0-2 in the postseason. So Tennessee's going to do everybody else a favor by knocking off Baltimore here. Baltimore, had they got the right matchup, who knows? This is not the right matchup going up against Tennessee. I'm taking the Titans in this game.
All right, Derf.
Yeah.
The consensus going maybe?
I'm completely going with the Titans here. I 100% agree with everything that Gene, just said. And it's who has the worst defense versus the other team's offense. And I think the Ravens defense is going to struggle again against Derrick Henry. Yeah.
We all have the same exact opinion. I'm just going strictly off of past matchups. The Titans have the Ravens number. They know how to contain Lamar on defense, and Derrick Henry just runs over them. It's just a who can eat more pies, Lamar Jackson or Derrick Henry? People are the worst. I'm gonna go with Derrick Henry on that. Okay. Are we in consensus? Can Derrick Henry eat more pie than Lamar Jackson?
Yes.
Okay. We got 1 yes, 2 yes, 3 yes. All right, still in consensus. This is great. Last game. Let's see if we can break up the party. The Bears at the Saints on Amazon and Nickelodeon.
Is that what it's on? That's not on network, or is that they're doing it additionally?
Additionally, there's CBS as well. Sorry, I didn't see that one.
Thank goodness I don't have to watch the slime and the leaf. That's something that, hey, for mom who isn't paying attention, hey, let's make sure kids like football. Let's talk to 4-year-olds and make sure they play. I mean, that's why the NFL's doing this, right? They should have picked a better game. It'll be the Saints rolling in this game, obviously. The Bears. You could say maybe if the Giants had gotten in, they'd be the worst team. But no, the Bears, worse than the Reds, the Washington football team. The Bears really not having any business making this postseason the way they played this year. So the Saints will win this game.
I can't wait for them to slime Jim Nance up there. They should. It's gonna be great. Derf, who you got?
Oh, as intriguing as the Bears. For me to pick them, I'm taking the Saints. It's, out of this being the last game, there wasn't anything. If anyone was wondering who's watching or listening, Durstopler had nothing of any concern for these games this weekend. Everything looks good, just cold but good. It's a dome game. It's the Saints. They're not playing in Chicago. Drew Brees is going to be fine. The Saints are going to be on their, his farewell tour now. So, yeah, Saints.
I mean, can we Durf's taking the Saints, but can we have a Mitchell miracle? No. Sorry. You have to throw it out there just for the content. It's great. Throw Mitchell miracle out there.
Yeah, look, I'm impressed. Like you understand. Like for good sports talk, you want debate and going back and forth. And when it comes to these playoff matchups, it's kind of we're all excited to watch this, but we see all these games going a certain way. So how about this question? I'll turn around on you.
Ooh, here we go.
All right. How many of these will we miss on? What would be the over/under if we agree on this? I'd say 2.
Yeah, this is what I was just thinking in my head before I was about to make that pick. Every single week, I've brought this up multiple times, multiple shows. Every week, there's always that game where you just look back, you recap the week of football, and you go, "Wow, how did this happen?" And I'm looking at these games trying to figure out which one it is. And is it 2? It might be 2, because what if the Ravens finally do figure it out and they can bounce against the Titans and they can figure that one out? Maybe the Browns are okay without Kevin Stefanski and can beat the Steelers, who have been struggling as of late. Yeah. The one that I was looking at, it's primetime Buccaneers. I don't trust the offense of Washington. I never have, never will. It's garbage. But Tom Brady struggling against the defense in primetime, that's the one I would pick, where you could potentially look back come Monday and be like, wow, how? Just how?
Well, it's interesting because let's go back through the Brady years, right? When has Tom Brady lost? Well, if you can get pressure with 4, and Washington's 2 defensive ends, Young and Sweat, those are the 2 guys right there. And if they can get some help at the tackle position, that if Washington can get pressure with 4, they've got a shot. That's how you got to do it against Tom Brady. If you're going to have to send extra blitzers, forget it. The old man will pick them apart, and that'll be it.
And is Ron Rivera smart enough to know it? Derf, do you have any upsets? What would be your upset? Over under 2, like Gene said?
I like 2. I want to think it's under 2.
Under 2.
I think we're only going to see 1.
What do you have? Okay, so the one. What do you have?
The one for me would be Ravens Titans.
Okay.
I think that's going to be the one that's the one that I flip flop the most on, looking at the picks, and just from watching the Titans Texans game last week, I don't feel good about the Titans defense. And if Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson can get something going in that seam route, across the middle, the Ravens have a chance here. But right. I think that's the one I'm picking for upset.
Yeah, Fred's over here saying Ravens Titans, and the general reason was because of what Deshaun Watson and the Texans just got done doing to that Titans defense. Got some concerns about the Titans defense, and maybe Lamar Jackson can get some steam rolling with that.
Yeah, that'll be something to watch. So, it's on Lamar.
It's going to be a great weekend of football regardless, no matter what happens. I'm just excited. Like you said earlier, sitting down Saturday and Sunday, triple headers, football all weekend. Absolutely just thrilled to be here.
Outstanding. Yeah, outstanding.
All right, so we got the one last piece here. It is on and off the field. I didn't know if you had anything ready, but we're going to present the question. If you have any favorite charities, anything that you participate in, any of your favorites that anyone in the Bills organization might run, any of you participated in anything like that, what would your off the field charity foundation be?
Well, and I got involved with this, like our station. Not only we carry the Bills, but like in a normal year, we'd be carrying St. John Fisher football, and every year is the benefit for Camp Good Days and Special Times, the Courage Bowl. And so when you're talking about an event that is where all the proceeds go to one charity, it's just it's a great event to be a part of and to help promote, and to see these kids that are battling something that God hopefully none of us have or have to deal with, but they have to look down at something that a football game does not compare to what they do, and to see these kids going out onto the field as honorary captains, honorary cheerleaders, it's special. And I'm so happy to help promote this game with Gary Mervis and Camp Good Days and Special Times every year. It's Brockport's one of the last few, so it's Fisher and Brockport annual game. So if you guys and your listeners keep this in mind, that hey, if you want to go check out a local football game, when the game is in Brockport, as it'll be scheduled this coming year, I mean, you will get 7,000 to 8,000 people at a college football game. It has a really fun atmosphere, knowing that your ticket proceeds are going to a great charity like Camp Good Days and Special Times, where campers don't pay any out-of-pocket costs. It's events like these that help make this possible for these campers and their families. That's something very near and dear to my heart.
That's great. I didn't know about that game with the proceeds going to that. I'm gonna have to look up more about that, and I will 100% listen back and make sure I get all the information about this right. And I'll be tagging it in the episode, and I'll throw it on our social media posts when we upload the episode too. Perfect. Yeah, I really wish I had a mulligan here for Wi-Fi on my end here. Technology,
Yeah, we'll make it through here. So
at least we still have phones. There's always a workaround.
Yeah, that's it. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't have an engineer I can ask at home here, so I'm kind of on my own. So,
but there's no techie teenager can come busting down the door and save the day.
No, absolutely not. I don't know about you guys, but next time I'll know to check the Wi-Fi speeds before we log on and do this. So.
All right. Well, that sounds like there'll be a next time.
Anytime you guys want. Yeah, this was a lot of fun here tonight.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for coming on. I mean, this was great. I mean, I can't say it enough. When I was messaging you, I just kept saying thank you and how great this is. This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for coming on. We can't wait till next time.
Yeah, you guys are doing a good job, and I appreciate the angles you guys are taking when it comes to on and off the field here. So,
thank you very much. Until next time.
All right. Thanks, Dylan. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye. Gene Battaglia, everybody.
That was awesome.
Oh, that was great.
That was really good.
That was great. That was everything I hoped it would be and more.
Yeah.
My arm hurts now from holding the phone up, but I'm glad that worked, though.
I'm glad we were able to make it work there.
Yeah, I just want to hit these comments because I feel like I've been ignoring everybody. I've been trying my best. This is like a real interview, like with a real person, so I had to respect him. Let's see here. How many pies are you going to eat while watching football this weekend? Probably none. There's none in the house currently.
None, yeah.
Support Pies for Poor People. Great charity. I'll look that one up. I don't think it exists. Favorite part was the slow internet.
Oh, yeah, it was good though.
That was great.
Yeah.
William, Gene, wash hands, wash hands, wash hands, wash hands. That's probably an emoji symbol.
Oh, yeah, I think those are emojis. Yeah. I don't know which emoji that is though.
Wash hands. Maybe I think it may be clapping, but
maybe that's what the clapping.
Hands,
oh, maybe. Huh.
I could log into YouTube and check real quick, but I don't think I'm going to because we got to end the show. We're over our 2 hours.
Yes.
Way to solve the audio. That's what we do. We're problem solvers. That's what we do because we have problems every week. And he was a great guest for sure. And nothing's confirmed yet, but next week I'm going to try and get his co-host on the sports bar on ESPN Rochester's radio, Mike Danger.
Yeah.
Already talked to him on Twitter. I tagged him in a post, and he said holler at him. So we're going to try. It'll be 2 weeks in a row of great guests. So hopefully the Bills win so we can talk about the Bills winning next week. That'd be great.
Yeah.
And right before we sign off, my arms look extra long. This is a wide-angle camera, so I think that's why. Yeah.
Oh.
Thanks for that comment. Thank you, everyone, for the pie talk. Just being here. We had 16 reactions up there, bunch of comments, shares. Everything was great. I can't thank you guys enough. I wonder if he likes pies. I'm done with this guy. I'm exhausted. I'll probably never eat a pie in the rest of my life just because of this episode. Before we sign off, I'm sorry.
Yes, there's one more thing.
Yeah, the one more thing. I got to get this banner out of the way. We are participating. Strikeout Beer on Out the Field, Just Be a Dad podcast, and Let's Do a Podcast. We're all going to be participating in a Podcasters Losing Pounds 90-day challenge, losing some weight. Now, the winner is going to choose the charity. I realized I spelt that wrong. I did make this graphic. I will face up to that. I spelt that wrong. The winners are going to choose a charity that the money that we raise during this goes to. There's a buy-in of $50 per podcaster, so there's 8 of us. So that's what, $400 to go towards a charity of the winner's choice. And then the loser, we're going to spin the wheel of pies that we're currently creating, hence all the pie talk, and they're going to take a pie to the face. The losing podcast will take a pie to the face. So sorry, I meant to send clapping, but don't forget to wash your hands. Thank you. Very important to wash your hands these days. It's a good reminder. That's a good reminder. Just a disclaimer, this is all for fun. I personally won't be changing my diet. I don't think diets work. That's a household staple. Diets are garbage. Diets are unhealthy. Diets can't be sustained. Diets are terrible. This is why we'll probably lose. I apologize in advance, but this is for charity. This is all for charity. Why we agreed to it. It's going to be $400+ going to charity, which is great. But yeah, I'm personally not going to change my diet for this. I'm just going to start working out. I've always wanted to work out. I like working out. I'm just lazy. I'm just going to, I got to try working out. So this is all just to get a little bit healthier. It's going to raise some money. So I think we're starting next Monday. So I got to gain a bunch of weight this weekend. I can shave it all off.
Oh, it's not doing a diet. It's doing a lifestyle change, which you are doing. Like that's you're exercising more. That's a lifestyle change. I'm gonna make a lifestyle change here too. Like it's 2020 was not good to me on that sort of scale. It was okay, but we need a lifestyle change here. So I'm ready for it.
Yeah. And, when you say lifestyle change, just because, this is just a thing of our household between me and the wife, we just agree that, we're big into intuitive eating, which is basically eat whatever you want. Because if you limit what you eat, you're going to end up, you go back to eating those things like pie. Let's say you refuse to eat pie because it's part of your diet. Like you think it's a lifestyle change to stop eating pie, but you end up going back and you still end up eating pie at some point. And you end up eating a whole pie because you've not given your body pie and you just lose your diet, because diets don't work. That's the whole point. So That's why I'm not going to worry about that. I just want to work out. So if anyone wants to work out with me, if anyone wants to join this journey of working out, feel free to let me know because I love workout buddies. I feel like that's when I thrive the most is when I work out with buddies. Beer only diet, I'm in on that.
There you go.
I'll buy into that. That's fine with me. Just finished pie number 3. I'm bulking up before I weigh in. Yeah, that's smart. I got to do that. All right. Well, that's going to be happening.
Yeah.
Pay attention. You got to follow on social media. Do the flossing, everybody. Make sure to floss like Stefan Diggs. Follow, like, subscribe, and share. We thank Gene again. What a great show. Great show.
Definitely.
But we're going to do it all again next week because
Mama didn't raise no wussies.